Well, hello. Bob Russo here, Executive Game Changers. And wow, it is a beautiful sunny day here. I hope it is wherever you are. But I wanted to share with you something. I led a masterclass last night on becoming a great leader. And it was too good not to share with everyone. What happened there was pretty powerful, and I want to share with you so that maybe you can feel some of the power. So the theme was, what's holding you back from being a great leader? And it really comes down to your emotions. Like, what emotions are you feeling and what emotions are you creating? And you're always creating emotions, always. Whether you like it or not, no matter when you say something or you act, there's an emotion attached to it. People can feel it, and people will feel differently depending on how you approach it. So you're always creating an emotion. And they really go into two different categories, one being anabolic, which is really positive, and the other being catabolic, which is really more negative. So I'm sure to become a great leader, you want to be presenting more anabolic or positive energy. But how do you do that? Or what is it that's keeping you back? Usually 4 things that are holding us back, or at least that's what we talked about last night. One of them being limiting beliefs. The other being assumptions that you're making. Another is interpretations, or maybe that gremlin, that little thought in your head that tells you you're not good enough. If you're experiencing any one of those 4, you're probably in a very negative state, or they could be causing a negative state. So last night, there was only one person who showed up, but it still ended up being a powerful session or a powerful masterclass, because I said, I'm gonna coach you, and I did, powerfully. Because I always say, if just one person shows up, that's the most important person in the world at that moment. And so I said, tell me, what is keeping you from being a great leader? What emotions are happening that are keeping you from being a great leader? And he said, when I am getting angry and frustrated. And I said, that really would keep me from being a great leader. I'm going to be creating anger and frustration if I'm angry and frustrated, and people are going to feel it. He said, so how can I change that? I said, well, tell me what's going on. Give me something specific. He said, well, just listen, many times I ask people to do things, they say they're going to do them, and then actually the results are different than I expected, and they did it differently than I wanted them to. I said, yeah, you're starting to sound really angry here. I said, but listen, I'd be angry too if things didn't turn out the way that I wanted them. Definition of frustration. I said, but really, what is leading to that? What thought is coming to your head that's leading you to become angry? Because usually there's a thought before any emotion. And his answer was loud and clear. Well, they're very lazy. They wouldn't do the job right. Or they lied to me and said they could do it when they really couldn't. Or they really don't care to do a good job. I said, yeah, if I believed those things, if that was the interpretation I was making based on their behavior, which is they didn't do the job exactly as I wanted it, if I interpreted it as being lazy, not caring, lying, yeah, I'd be angry too. How true is that? I asked him. And he said, you know what? I really don't know. I didn't ask. I just assumed and I just interpreted. I said, what could change that interpretation just a little bit that could be just as believable as what you're thinking originally, that would make you feel a little less angry, less frustrated? The thought came immediately. He said, I could think, you know what? Maybe they were in over their head and couldn't get the job done. Maybe they were afraid to tell me that they were in over their head. Maybe they didn't understand the instructions completely and they were afraid to come and talk to me and ask me for the better instructions. Maybe they do care. I mean, they did show up and they did do the work, but it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it. But they did care. Maybe they didn't lie. And I said, that's great. He said, yeah, I feel better about that. I'd rather approach the situation that way. I said, terrific. I said, what allowed you to have that different interpretation? And here's the big part. His answer was compassion. all of a sudden I had compassion for that person, and I put myself in their spot instead of in mine. And he said, then I was thinking, how could I help them? Maybe they need help in order to get the job done the way that I want it done. And I said, bingo, that's it. If you want to become a great leader, lead from your heart, not from your head. We all know you could lead from your head. You're the leader. You know how to get there. You've done it a million times that way. But to be a great leader, you have to lead from your heart. Imagine leading with compassion. That's really a great example of leading from your heart. Lead with compassion. Try and understand what the other person's point of view is, especially if you're in a leadership or authority position, because they may not be comfortable talking to you and asking you questions, which then leads you to think that they're lazy and lying to you, when actually, if you could just add a little bit of compassion, a little bit of heart, a little bit of love, you'll create an environment for both them and yourself to lead a little bit better, to actually lead from greatness, and create great relationships and emotions. That's the tip. I hope this helps you, and thank you for listening. If you want more, look me up. I'm easy to find, and I will share all my wisdom with you, and I will coach you deeply. Love you all. Bye now.